This video and all content on this channel is performed by a pest control professional, and it is always recommended to hire a pest control pro in your area to perform any pest control in or outside your home. Pesticides can harm you and your loved ones. Anyone who is performing the information in this video is doing so at their own risk. If you decide to try the info provided in this video, please always check with the local laws in your area and read the labels of any product you use. The label is the law.
Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers with Green Acres Pest Control. Hope everybody's having a good Thursday night. Live streaming again tonight about bugs, answering your questions, whatever you got to throw my way. Just looking forward to chatting with people tonight. How's everybody doing? Everybody ready for the weekend? Looking forward to Friday, Saturday, Sunday, all the good stuff. Plans, family, friends. Who knows? People do all kinds of fun stuff over the weekend. Let's put my AirPod away here. So, anyway, hope everybody's having a good time. Something I wanted to talk about tonight. I can't remember exactly what it was now. Now that I'm live and I got to think about it, I can't remember what it was. So if anybody's got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Oh, Jennifer, you working? Trying to adjust my windows a little bit here so I can got a different setup. I'm still working on this office, trying to figure out how I like it. So where I could read your chat and talk with you guys. So, I can't remember what it was I was going to say now. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do something we haven't done in a while. Let's do a look up Reddit. And let's answer some Reddit questions. Because I haven't done that in a long time. And the reason I started doing it is because I got banned from the bedbug forum. I can still read everything there, but I can't type, I can't chat at all and answer people's questions. And I like to answer people's questions about bed bugs and all kinds of bugs and stuff. But the bedbug Reddit forum is where I've actually been banned. And so I thought I would answer some bedbug questions because they don't like professionals in there actually giving people real advice. So let's see, which one is it? There we go. All right, bed bugs. Let's see what's going on. So apparently this person thinks this is a bed bug right here. It's not. I think it might be a weevil. That's what it looks like a grain beetle. Definitely not a bed bug. Not round enough to be a bed bug. Now that looks like a bed bug. Just found a male bed bug after not having them for 6 months. Now, how do you know that's a male? Let's see. I can't tell. That is too fast. Everybody's a professional nowadays, but it is hard to tell if that's a male or a female because it's moving so quickly across the screen. What is this bug? Here's one that's not a bill. That looks more like a sow bug or a pill bug to me. Should you spray crossfire on clothes? No, you should never spray crossfire on clothes ever. You can launder your clothes. You launder your clothes. You don't spray them with pesticides. You should never spray your clothing or your bed sheets or your linens or your comforter or anything you can actually wash in the washing machine with bug spray. You just wash it in the washing machine. That's all you got to do. There's some bed bug. That actually does look like bed bug staining there from poop. That's a bed bug. The thing is, all right, so let's go over this real quick. This says, "Oh God, please don't say I'm screwed." Okay. That is a picture of a bed bug right there. But it may not be a bed bug because there are breeds of bed bug that aren't actually bed bugs, if that makes sense. So there's a bat bugs, when you look at them magnified, actually have hairy like whiskers on their face. The hair will extend past the eyes. They have a real hairy rear end. In fact, sometimes you can tell if a bed bug is a bat bug just from looking at it with the naked eye on their butt, because it'll be real hairy, or it looks like fuzzy on their butt, because the hair on a bat bug actually grows a lot longer than the hairs on a bed bug. And so just because you see one like this, I mean, this is probably a bed bug, but you don't know for sure. You should check them. I actually carry a magnifying lens in my work bag so I can look at them real close to make sure it's actually not a bat bug and that it is what what the customer thinks it is. And that's really a good idea. In fact, I have a magnifying, an actual microscope that I use that connects to my iPhone that allows me to take pictures of a magnified bed bug, like, 100 times magnification, which is pretty cool too. That's a really easy way to tell if it's a bat bug or a bed bug or not. And there's that other bug there that I looked at earlier. That looks a lot like bed bug spots to me. It says, "I just found this. What do I do?" So let's look close. You see this right in this crack? I don't know if y'all can see that or not, but those are bed bugs in that crack. This is where one of the slats on a bed actually butt up against the bed rail. It's laid on top of the bed rail, and then usually on top of this, you'd sit like a box spring. And there's a baby, a nymph, not a full-grown adult. So, but every stage of bed bug is absolutely visible. Let's see, not sure if it was fleas, mites, or bed bugs, but they aren't biting. I used Alpine WSG last week. You know what? I wonder, I've got some bugs in the other room in there. Let me be right back. I'm going to go see if I can get my bugs. I'll be right back. All right, let's take a look if my camera will work. We're going to give this a shot. So I got this app that I use on my phone that allows me to use my cell phone as a web camera. That's what I'm doing right now. So what I'm going to do is my desk is still such a mess. We're almost done. But I got my sketchbook right here where I like to draw. And I'm going to dump some bed bugs. These are my bed bugs. These are dead. I've had these for a while. They're not alive, so my wife won't freak out. And I'm going to show you different stages of bed bug because I got all kind of different stages in this. She made me put these in a glass jar. Now they're in a plastic bag here. I want to show you. Actually, I could probably just leave them in the bag and I don't have to dump them out. That would probably make her happier if I don't dump them out. But let's see here. This should be just about every stage. So let's see if I can get this thing to work. Oh. All right. So now you can look up my nose. Let me see if I can switch this camera around. There we go. All right. So this is my sketchbook. So, let's see, can I get it to focus? Will it focus? Can't get it to focus. All right. So these are bugs I've had for a while. This one right here, see, it gives you a good idea of the size. There's my finger. Or I tell you what, let's use this little piece of USB there. Let's sit that out there to give you an idea of about the size of a bed bug. So, there we go. Let's see if I can get, will it focus? Come on, focus now. Manual. That is so blurry. I'm sorry. Manual. Automatic. All right. I don't think it's going to focus. Well, sorry. I tried. But I'm going to do a video. Because someone had asked me to do a video, I think it was last week, on the different stages of bed bugs, showing what they look like. So that, you'd be able to identify them properly if you've got problems with bed bugs in your own house. And so I'm actually going to do a video. That's the next video, not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday. I'm hoping to have it edited and up by then. It's going to take me a long time to edit it and put it together. But hopefully I'll be able to get a video explaining the different life cycle of a bed bug and the stages and what to expect with each life cycle and what you're dealing with. Because some people, they may be getting bit every day, or they may be only getting bit once, every 3 or 4 days, maybe once a week. And so I'm going to do a video explaining what to expect based on what life cycle you have in your house. So hopefully everything gets edited by next week or a week and a half. I got a week and a half to get it all filmed and edited. So, but anyway, let's see. Let's go back to this Reddit and take a look at these pictures that they've got up here. So yeah, that's really common to find on a bed where the slat meets the bed rail in this little groove right here to find bed bugs. And of course, all these black stains here, that's bed bug droppings. That's where they poop. And so that's real common. Let's see. What is this guy saying? Okay. I saw one bed bug, but I didn't know it was a bed bug. I still got it with tissue and flushed it. I took a picture of it, and the following week, I had pest control come out and do a standard spray. I showed him the picture, and he said it was 100% a bed bug. He searched my bedrooms high and low and only found one bug on the couch. He treated the couch and said it is probably okay, but I'm treating the sheets with my heat treatments just in case. I need someone to ease my mind that it's just a weird one-off situation, that if the inspector only saw one a week after I initially found one, that everything is okay. I don't know that it's a pre-existing issue because I've been in this house almost 3 weeks, and that's the only thing I've found. So if I had somebody call me with this kind of situation, the way that I would explain this is, if you've been living in a house for 3 weeks and you just started seeing bed bugs, then normally it's a pre-existing situation that you've been having the bed bug problem probably since before you moved in the house. It's been an issue with the property. That's what I would assume. Bed bugs don't all emerge right away when you first move into what was maybe a vacant property. Sometimes they can take 2 or 3 weeks to come out. Sometimes they take 2 weeks. Sometimes they come out right away. It just depends on the specific situation that you're in. Temperatures in the house, humidity levels, all kinds of things will interact with bed bugs and the way they behave. So I would assume, personally, that it's probably something that was there when you moved in. The landlord should take care of it, honestly, unless you bought the house and then you got to take care of it. But I would treat the whole house. I wouldn't be happy if a guy just came in and treated my couch and said, I think that's good enough. That's stupid. That guy is, he's just dumb. I mean, one of the hardest pieces of equipment in a house to treat or furniture is the couch, because it's so heavy to flip upside down. I mean, if he did flip it upside down, sounds to me like you say he treated the couch. How did he treat the couch? Did he turn it upside down? Did he unscrew the legs? Did he treat inside the box all up underneath? Did he pull the cushions out? Did he treat around all the armrests? Did he treat around the head pillows? Did he pull the pillows off if he could? Did he pull the cushions off? What did he do? How did he treat the couch? Sounds like he's lazy and doesn't like to do a full bed bug job. Because I go in, I flip the mattresses, the box springs, I treat the headboard, footboard, bed rails of every bed in the house, even guest rooms. I treat all the couches, love seats, lazy boy recliners, everything, baseboards throughout the whole house. Because if you don't, and someone has tracked bed bugs into a room that you haven't sprayed, well, those bed bugs are safe. They're not going to die. So you should be thorough. Always be thorough. Treat it like every room's infested. That's the way I've always understood to get rid of bed bugs, is you treat it like every room has them. If one room's got them, just figure every room's got them and do a good, thorough treatment. That's what you're supposed to do. So I don't know. That might be bad news. That'd probably be upsetting to the person. But personally, I think it's kind of lame that the guy didn't do, the full job like he should have. That's what I would have done. And we got another picture here. There's one somebody found on, looks like a sweater. Now, pretty sure that's a female. And the way you tell that's a female is because, well, one, she's fed more recently than that other one that they showed a picture of, that male that was running across the floor. But she's got a rounded rear end, where the male has more of a pointed rear end on him. So, like I said, that one that was moving across the floor was, personally, I believe he was moving too fast to really make a, say, oh yeah, it's a male, or oh yeah, it's a female. I couldn't tell either way. But that one's a female. So, let's see. That's not a bed bug on that. That's not a bed bug. That could possibly be a bed bug. That's a carpet beetle there. That right there, that's a carpet beetle. If you have those in your house, those are carpet beetles. You can react from bug bites. It looks like you've got bug bites if you have problems with carpet beetles, because carpet beetles, people have allergic reactions to the hairs that the larva stage leave behind as they crawl across your sheets, furniture, clothing. And carpet beetles like to feed on things like dead animal carcasses, hides. It's real common for them to get in stuff that hasn't been taxidermied properly, like during hunting season when people bring in things like antlers and, heads and stuff mounted, and they maybe haven't been properly taxidermied. It's not uncommon to find carpet beetle larvae in that stuff. But if the larvae start crawling down across your beds or your couches or something, and your bare skin touches where the beetle has crawled, it is where the larva, the worm part, because beetles come from it's like a caterpillar. And so they will crawl along, and then they pupate, they go into a cocoon, and then they come out as a beetle. So what carpet beetles do is they have the larval stage, the little worm stage, crawls across your furniture, crawls across your sheets and stuff. And when your bare skin touches where they've crawled, you can break out in similar bumps to what bed bugs do. But that's a carpet beetle. Alpine will kill beetles. Jennifer asks, carpet beetles are in my vehicle. Will Alpine WSG kill them? For the most part, Alpine does kill beetles. I don't know of very many pesticides that actually have carpet beetles on the label specifically. Most pesticides have just beetles on the label. Like it'll say beetles, and then it'll tell you how to mix it for beetles if you have a beetle problem. But carpet beetles do fall under the category of beetle, like ladybugs. Ladybugs are beetles. Lots of beetles. But not like the band. I think most of them are already gone anyway. Let's see. The bagged bugs you showed from here looked like flecks of tobacco. What did teeny ones look like, please? They look like bed bugs. So I am going to try my best to get this thing to focus on these bed bugs. There is a baby in here. This is what bed bugs look like. This is the size. This is what they look like. There is a little one in here. A very young one. Probably first or second instar. I'm going to see if I can get this stupid thing to focus one more time. Let me see. All right. So you see all these little beetles. Bed bugs, sorry. These are adults, but this one right here, let's see if I can get something pointy to point. I got a little bread tie here that I used for when I set up my network. Let me do that. All right. So, let's see if I can get my camera steady. That's an adult right there. That's an adult. That's a baby right there. Okay, see, it's visible. See the end of that bread tie? That gives you an idea of the size. It's about that big. That's how big a baby is. This is an egg right here. This is how big an egg is. So see that? That's visible. You can see that. It's not invisible. A lot of people believe that bed bug eggs can't be seen. But you can see that. I can see that. That little white speck, that's an egg. Okay? It's an oval. It's like a perfect oval shape. It's not jagged or rough. It's an oval. And then this is a first very young bed bug just hatched out of an egg. So, and these are different phases. Like this is a little bigger. See this one? This one is bigger than this one right here. This is like second instar. So this is first stage. This is second stage. These are different stages that bed bugs are in. This is like maybe third stage right here. And this one here is full grown. This is what an adult looks like, about the size of an apple seed. That's how big bed bugs are. That's what they look like. That's the size. And so I've got just about every stage, I believe, in this bag. From years ago, I actually had a customer give me those years ago. And I've been saving them in a jar. But since my office has been all remodeled and everything, I'm trying to get my camera set up right now. I messed it up. There we go. But since I went and remodeled my office, I found it. It was in my cabinet where I keep all evidently my dead pets. But yeah, that's what bed bugs look like. That's every stage of bed bug, just basically in this little jar right here. So, let's see. I've gotten tiny black wiry hairs on my hand when I was picking things out of my carpet in my car. They stuck far into my skin. That's not carpet beetles. I don't know what that is. That's not carpet beetles, though. I don't know of any bug that does that. It might be just the fibers in the carpet, because fibers in a van or a car or whatever usually are made out of polyester, and they're a lot. They will sometimes get caught on you, because I actually did. So when I was a teenager, I rebuilt my Duster. I have a 1975 Plymouth Duster. Actually, let me show you what it used to look like. I made a binder when I was doing the work on it of all of the progress I made. I'll show you what it looked like, what it used to look like, and what it looks like now. So there's my little thing I made. Is that backwards? That's not backwards. All right. So this is my Duster, start to finish. So this is what the car used to look like. That yellow color. See? I have pictures of it from the inside. When I had it taped up, I was painting the metal. That's my car. But my Duster, what it looks like now, is this. That's my car now. But when I was changing the carpet in this car, it was, I had to actually, it came in this big piece. It was kind of the size that was supposed to go in the car, but you had to trim it to fit because it wasn't just for a duster. It was also, I think the same carpet went in like a swinger. It went into a dart. And the floorboard is different in each one of those cars. And when I was cutting that carpet, I got those fibers all in my hand. I mean, they were all on my hands. They were getting in my arms. It's real fine stuff, kind of like fiberglass when you start cutting that stuff. So it wouldn't surprise me if the fibers you've got are actually from the carpet itself, because those carpets can, especially older carpet, can shed. So, let's see. If bed bugs ever grow a resistance to crossfire, what would you start using? Alpine? Not Alpine. Apprehend probably, but I haven't noticed any resistance to it yet. Not in what? It's been out for 10 years. I've used it for 6 to 7 years. I haven't noticed any resistance yet. Thank you, Jason. Kind of you to take time to help. Oh yeah, anytime. How do you kill all the eggs? How do you kill all the eggs on bed bugs? Bed bugs don't have eggs on them. They have eggs in them. If you kill a female bed bug that hasn't laid eggs, the eggs die. Now, if you kill a female cockroach that has eggs, sometimes the eggs will live. But if you kill a female bed bug with eggs, her eggs will die. But when the eggs hatch, they die. Because, so what you do is you treat, like I said earlier, you treat your mattress, box spring, headboard, footboard, bed rails, couch, love seats, lazy boy recliners, primarily. You also treat around the baseboards of the house. Let's assume that the bed bugs have not laid eggs on your furniture. Most time they do. But let's say they didn't. Let's say they laid their eggs behind a picture frame on the wall, like those picture frames behind me right there. All right? Those picture frames, let's just say they have bed bugs in them right now. All right? I didn't treat behind those picture frames. All I did was treat the furniture around in the room. Okay? How do I ensure that those eggs die? Well, because those bed bugs that are in that picture right there, well, they can't get a blood meal from that picture. So they have to hatch out. They have to trot on over to me where I've treated my chair, crawl on my treated chair, and then die because the chair's treated. They're not going to get a blood meal from that picture on the wall. They're going to get a blood meal from me.
I just want to interrupt your stream to show you how much dirt I got off my white couch so far.
Wow, that's disgusting. I don't think I would share that with people. That's nasty.
Your daughter.
What did my daughter do?
Is as bad as Lynn Forbes when it comes to furniture and trons.
Which chair was it?
The white couch.
The round chair?
The white chair, round chair.
The round chair. That's not a couch. That's a chair.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
Well, I sit in it too. My wife is I have a fifth baby on the way. It's going to be a boy. That's what we found out anyway. And the baby is due in June. And so my wife has been going through some massive nesting, like big time. This office has been redone. I got pictures hanging on the wall all over the house that I didn't have on the wall before. She's got rooms completely redecorated. She's had and now she's going through with her mean green machine steaming thing, cleaning all the furniture. So she had to come down and show me her mop bucket full of dirty, nasty water that she pulled off of her couch because she is steam cleaning the couch right now. But anyway, she had to come and show it to me. Did you have TikTok that you mentioned? Guys, I'm sorry to say, but there's a bed bug issue where nothing will kill them. Yes. Okay. I made a YouTube short and a TikTok a couple years ago. And it was released on April 1st about new bed bugs that have been shipped in from overseas that nothing would kill. Now, I released this video on April 1st. And I got in a lot of trouble with my YouTube audience because it was on April 1st. It wasn't true. And I got in a lot of trouble. I went back and I posted on that video and I said it wasn't true. It was an April Fool's joke. But it was an April Fool's joke. And I have not done another joke like that since. Because I got a lot of trouble with you guys over that April Fool's joke. So it was an April Fool's joke though. I have not noticed any resistance to Crossfire at all. So it was not real. I was kidding. So I'm sorry. Again, I keep apologizing for that video. It's been probably 2 or 3 years since I put that video out. But I do have a TikTok where I make videos, and I usually put my TikTok videos on YouTube too, and I share them all across all the different social media platforms and stuff. And my wife gave me the idea. I told her, I said, I want to do a funny April Fool's joke for my YouTube audience. And she's like, why don't you pretend that bed bugs are immune to everything and that you got this super bug? And I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. I could do that. So she kind of helped me, but it's my fault. I did it. She told me it wouldn't be a good idea, that I'd probably make a lot of people mad because people don't like April Fool's jokes. But I haven't done one since. I really haven't. I don't try to play too many practical jokes on people anymore since that happened, because I made a lot of people really worried and upset about it. Alan says, my wife has been bit a few times, like a 2-day period of a couple bites and then a week with none. But we just found a few carpet beetles. Not sure if we have bed bugs or carpet beetles. Well, I mean, it's obvious you have carpet beetles if you found carpet beetles. I would treat the house for carpet beetles. I would probably treat the house with Alpine WSG or Onslaught or something like that and see what happens. I'd use Alpine probably. That's probably what I would pick over Onslaught because it will kill beetles, and treat around cracks and crevices, baseboards and stuff, and see if it makes a difference. That's what I would do personally, because in a week or so, or 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, if you end up finding a bed bug, Alpine won't counteract Crossfire. And so you can use Crossfire right away. But I wouldn't use Crossfire to kill beetles. I'd use Alpine WSG is what I would use. Let me run and go use the restroom. I'm going to play some music for you guys real quick. I'll be right back, okay? Because I got to run and use the restroom real quick. I didn't get a chance to go before I started setting up my stream. So I'll be right back. Sorry, I couldn't figure out how to turn off the music. Best laxative. Let's see. So don't treat for bed bugs yet. Treat the carpet beetles first. Yes, that's what I would do. You can treat the box springs with Alpine WSG for bed bugs. And if there are carpet beetles on the box springs, they'll die too. So that's what I would do personally. Let's see. Hi, it happened to me lately. I saw a female got infested. I was thinking how unlucky. 4 months treatments, 2 months off, but other apartment infested. Saw one male, got no infestation, got lucky. Good. I guess I understood that. I think I understood that. Yeah, it's really, I don't know. I've been in pest control for a long time. I've been dealing with bed bugs for a long time. And honestly, to me, they're no different than any other bug. A bug is a bug. They all behave basically the same way. As long as you know their living habits and where they live and what they're going to do as far as their feeding habits, they're usually not that hard to get rid of. Bugs are pretty much all the same. If you take a bed bug, well, they're going to want to feed on you. So if you treat the area between them and you, they die. Ants. Ants usually like to go for various different things. If you find that ants are getting into your pantry, then you treat the area between the ants and the pantry. And when they crawl through the chemical, they die. Roaches. Roaches are attracted to water. You treat areas where there's water sources, like around kitchens and bathrooms and water heaters and drains and stuff. When the roaches go to those areas, they die. So bed bugs are just a bug, like any other bug. You just, once you know their natural habits and the way they behave, then it's not that hard to get rid of them. So there's nothing to be afraid of. They're just a bug. They'd just as much be afraid of them as a mosquito. Actually, mosquitoes carry disease. Bed bugs don't. Fleas carry disease. Bed bugs don't. Ticks. You can get sick from a tick. You don't get sick from a bed bug. Maybe in the head. They mess with your head. But they don't actually make you sick. So the problem with using fipronil for cockroaches. So Aaron says, I just ordered the new cockroach bait by Nisus called Dual Strike. It has fipronil and boric acid. Probably the only thing that'll kill the cockroaches is boric acid. Cockroaches, the problem with cockroaches and baiting for cockroaches is when they first came out with fipronil, Max Force was one of the first baits that I ever used with fipronil in it. It was like a godsend. It was amazing. You baited with that stuff and it killed the hell out of cockroaches. They just all died. It was amazing. You would turn a 6-month cockroach infested job into a 1 to 2 month visit and the cockroaches were all dead. It was really good. But what exterminators, and this is something that people in my field were doing that I completely disagreed with, and personally I never did, was they were getting Termidor, which is fipronil based termiticide. It's for termites. And they were taking a few drops of that, they were putting it in their B&G and spraying for cockroaches because fipronil killed cockroaches. It's really good for cockroaches. But if you pay attention to my live streams, I talk about how you build a resistant cockroach. And it's by using a weak pesticide on them. And it might work for a little while, but eventually it stops working because it's not strong enough, not mixed properly. There were no mixing directions on a bottle of Termidor to use for cockroaches. So people were guessing and they were putting it in They're B&Gs, and they were spraying roaches with it. And what happened is Max Force stopped working for cockroaches because Max Force was fipronil based. And if the roaches have built resistance to it, it's not going to kill them. And that's the active ingredient. That's the mode of action. Now, boric acid will kill roaches because it works on the digestive tract of the roach. So when a roach eats the boric acid, they can't build resistance to it. They just die. They just die from it. Very effective. But you don't have to put boric acid in a dust to get roaches to eat boric acid. You can put it in wall voids. You can put it around outlets and stuff in the wall, not like laid out in piles. Like you'll go to these apartment buildings where it's obvious tenants have no idea what they're doing, and they'll clump that stuff in piles all around the edges of their room and their baseboards and all, and that stuff's not killing anything. But if you put it really light under appliances like refrigerators where the roaches are living, they'll crawl out, they'll get in that dust because they don't see it. You don't put it to where they can see it. It's got to be really light, really light. So like, let me see, do I have anything with some dust? Because I've been moving stuff around in here. Let's see, this is what I have just for looks. This is my mug with my children on it. I don't drink out of it. I just use it as an ornament. But you see the dust on the top. If you can take your finger and see how I made that mark, that's how light the dust needs to be. If it's any heavier than that, see that mark? If it's any heavier than that dust, roaches won't crawl through it. The way boric acid dust kills cockroaches is they pick it up on their feet when they crawl through it, and they lick it off of their feet when they groom themselves. So they're ingesting the boric acid. You don't have to mix it in like a bait or anything. They will eat it because it gets on their body. Roaches clean themselves like cats. So they're constantly preening and licking their feet and licking their extremities and cleaning themselves off. And so when they get the dust on them, they lick it off and eat it, and they die. And it's very effective. I have used boric acid dust as a way to get rid of roaches in places where the chemicals no longer killed roaches because the roaches were resistant to every pesticide I had. And I've used boric acid, and it's worked. It's a really good tool, but you can't just put it anywhere. You got to put it places the roaches are going to hang out. Like I said, underneath the refrigerator where people aren't going to sweep it up and they're not going to clean it. Because like I said, it needs to be like that. Real thin, like what was on the top of that cup. And if you're using it that thin, it'll kill the hell out of cockroaches. It's really effective for cockroaches. Okay, Aaron, it doesn't matter what it's labeled for. People were going against the label. That was my point, is that people were taking Termador and they were putting it in their B&G. So every 2 years, when you go to get your license renewed, I just did, in the state of Virginia, you have to go every 2 years. Every 2 years to get recertified. I just did this back in February. Okay. I would hear exterminators admitting to each other. It's like, 20 years ago or less, maybe 18 years ago, exterminators would be talking back and forth, and one guy would say to the other guy, man, I'm having a horrible problem with these roaches at this restaurant. And the other guy will say to him, he'll say, just put a few drops of Termador in there. You'll kill the hell out of your cockroaches. But ain't that against label? Yeah, but they don't have to know, and it works. It keeps the roaches down and keeps your clients happy. That's in the industry. So, that's what I've heard them say it myself. I know they were doing it. I look at my dad and I'm like, they're breaking label. That's against the law. They could lose their license for doing that shit. That's stupid. But they do it. They do it. They do it still to this day. People still do it to this day, go against label all the time because they're trying to keep their customers. They're trying not to make people mad at them and all, because it sucks when a customer yells at you for something that's out of your control. But, that's what they do. They do it. Hey, Luke, how you? But yeah, Termador is only for outside. You're right. But see, back when this was going on, Termador, okay, so BASF or BSAF or whatever the acronym is, they owned the patent on Termador. So they're the only ones that could produce fipronil. No one else could. And so they were using, people were using Termador for termite work, and they were taking it and using it for pest control too. And back then, it wasn't labeled for anything but termites. I don't even think ants or carpenter ants had even been put on the label yet. That came later. Termador, when it was first released, you couldn't even use it on a pre-treat. It was only for termite infestations on houses that were post-construction. That's the only way you could legally use Termador. Have you ever used Orthene? Oh yeah, I used Orthene. I've used Orthene for roaches. It'll kill roaches. It was good on roaches. Smelled like rotten cabbage, nasty stuff. Yeah, I've used Orthene. Well, good luck poisoning yourself with crossfire. That stuff hardly hurts people at all. I'm going to open my window. It's hot in here. I don't think you'll hear any crickets. It's not really warm enough yet, but I gotta open my window. It is hot. It is hot in here. There we go. You might hear the AC unit out there running, the heat pump running. What's the shelf life for an unopened crossfire bottle? It depends on how you're keeping it stored. As long as you obey the label and keep it stored the way they tell you, usually a couple years. Most pesticides last a real long time if you you take care of where you store them. But if you take them and put them in a freezing cold minivan and leave them overnight, well, you probably won't have any decent pesticide at all. If you take them, if it's frozen solid, if you take it and get it really, really hot, where it's like 80 degrees or 90 degrees, and cook it, it's not going to be any good either. You have to keep it in a cool, dark place, room temperature kind of. Like, you don't want it to get too cold and you don't want it to get too hot, and you don't want extreme differences in temperature either whenever you store any kind of pesticide. So you don't spray crossfire everywhere either. I need to do a video about the misuse of crossfire, or the misuse of pesticides, period. You're not supposed to use crossfire everywhere. You just treat the stuff I said earlier. But anyway, I could say that till I'm blue in the face. People are still going to misuse the pesticides. Yeah. Alpine's Orthene. Now, I didn't use it as a dust. I didn't know it came as a dust. All I ever used it was mixing it in a B&G. You get the one little packet, the little white packet, says Orthene on it, and you pour it in your tank, and you pour your water, and you mix your water. It was hard to mix. It didn't want to dissolve very well at all. Like not as bad as Alpine. Alpine actually mixed pretty easy compared to Orthene, but that stuff stunk to high heaven. I had a customer one time. I went into her house to spray for cockroaches, and I was using Orthene. And I went in there, and she's like, "Oh man, you're making me want to cook up some collard greens. That stuff smells so good." And I looked at her like she grew a third head, and I said, "You're the only person that has ever complimented the smell of Orthene." And she's like, "Why?" She's like, "It smells like cabbage. It smells good." And I'm just like, "Oh, this stuff is so nasty. It stinks so bad." But no, the label is the law. The reason that I always put this up, let me show you. When I put this up, and I've got that label there, and it says, "This video and all content on this channel is performed by a pest control professional." All right. The label is the law. All right. So I actually had a guy one time that told me that the label is not a law, and it wasn't passed by any Congress or any president or anything like that. And he didn't have to obey the label, that the label wasn't going to put him in jail. And I think he was ignorant, because the directions of the label, the directions of use of a pesticide, if you don't follow the directions of a pesticide, and then you make somebody sick or you kill somebody's dog or somebody's cat or somebody's gerbil or their hamster or whatever, who is going to get sued? You. You are. Because you broke the law. You didn't follow the directions on the label. You were grossly negligent. You made someone sick. And so when they sue you, you lose because you did not follow the label, because the label is the law. That's what it means by saying the label is the law. It means follow the directions, because if you don't and you fail, meaning you don't kill your bugs, well, that's because you didn't follow the directions. Or if you kill somebody or you harm somebody, well, you know what? You didn't follow the directions. You go to jail. That's what happens. Or you get fined. You know, some people get fined $50,000 to $100,000 or more for breaking label. I never break label. It's not worth it. I use my pest control business to pay for my family's room and board, this house, their food, my pets, their clothing. All this stuff is paid for because I kill bugs for a living. The last thing I'm going to do is break the label to keep some restaurant owner happy. I would rather lose the restaurant owner, lose the restaurant as a business, than risk tanking my whole business because he wants me to use a chemical against label. I just don't do it. 80% of no preparation before treatment got rid of them. What's that noise? Oh, that's... What is that? Something moved outside my window and I don't know what it was. I'm not scared. You're scared. I'm not scared. I'm not. I swear. That was a weird noise. I don't know what that was. I think it might have been a leaf. I hope it was a leaf, although all the leaves should be gone now. Might have been my dog. Sometimes my dog will come up if the window's open and sniff at the window and stick his head in right there. He's funny. A cat-sized bed bug. I don't have to look. Y'all want to look? Y'all can look with me. See, there's my window. Right there. Let me open it. Let me open the screen. It might be Captain. If Captain's trying to peek in, I want to be able to peek in. He's funny. Captain? Captain? Nah, he ain't outside. He must be upstairs with my daughter. Yeah, he's not out there. I thought it was a dog. I really think it was a leaf. I think it was a leaf. That's what I think. Sorry. Anyway, we plan to probably spray Crossfire again this Saturday, and my brother was itchy bumps on his hand, but we don't know if they're bites or not. Is it okay to spray his bedroom if it's a bit cluttered? I would. Just don't spray the stuff. Treat the bed and stuff. Hey, Jason, what type of pesticide do you use for inside of commercial kitchens? I use whatever's labeled. I use Alpine. But commercial kitchen, are you talking about like a restaurant? Because that's what I use. I use a lot of bait, but you don't spray a lot in a kitchen. Mostly in a kitchen, you're using bait and stuff anyway because they're going to bleach everything anyhow. Most commercial kitchens bleach the floor, bleach up against the baseboards and everything. There's not a lot of spray you can really use in a kitchen. Most of the time I use stuff like, in places you can spray, I use Alpine, and other places I use bait. You know, if it's like refrigerators and stuff like that, pull them out. Just like I was talking earlier, you know, treat up around the compressor motors and stuff like that where the roaches are going to live. But I don't do a lot of kitchens. I personally don't do a lot of restaurants. I don't like restaurant work. I try to price myself out of it, mainly because people are too cheap. And they don't like to pay you what you're worth. And they expect the world out of you and you can't give it to them. You know, when your customers are coming in and they open their pocketbook and they sit it on the counter and a roach crawls out and then I get blamed for it. I mean, I didn't bring a purse in there. I didn't pull a roach out and drop it on the counter. But yeah, one of the biggest problems with commercial kitchen, not just commercial kitchens, but hospitals, kitchens, schools, nursing homes. They all use bleach, chlorine-based cleaners. Chlorine is highly volatile when it comes into contact with pesticide residue. Basically, it cleans it up. So if people go through, like say a nursing home, and they go and mop the floor with bleach water or sanitizer, which is typically bleach water, it might be ammonia, but specifically chlorine bleach. Chlorine bleach causes a chemical reaction with pesticides that nullifies pesticides. If somebody goes through behind you and they clean their countertops and they clean everything, like let's say you're treating around windows in a kitchen and maybe a backsplash for ants, and somebody goes in behind you and bleaches all the countertop. Well, they just took all your pesticide away. And now there's nothing there to kill the ants, And so you got to think about that when you do kitchens. You got to think, where are they not cleaning? Where are they not wiping? What are they not, pipes? It says on the label for roaches, treat around the pipes because the pipes have access to the wall. And a lot of times German roaches, especially and oriental roaches, like to crawl those pipes and go back and forth in the wall because they're cool and they'll condensate, they'll get water on them and stuff. And so the roaches are always in there. So treat the pipes. And they're not going to take the mop and mop around the pipes either. So you got to think, where are they not cleaning? And those are the places you want to put your chemicals. Would you recommend spraying Crossfire every 6 months after fixing a problem just to be on the safe side? No, I recommend preventative to use Alpine WSG once a month. Inside, outside, around the building. It kills ants and roaches and silverfish, all kinds of bugs. That's what I would do. I wouldn't use Crossfire now. I do preventative bed bug work. I don't use Crossfire, but rarely. If somebody works as like let's say an in-home nurse, or a school teacher, or a school bus driver, or, somebody that's got a much higher risk of bringing bed bugs into their home from where they work, then I treat their house a lot of times, especially the bedrooms, I will treat with Crossfire just because they're much more likely to bring them in. Now that being said, my rental homes and stuff, like my Airbnbs, I usually just preventatively treat them with Alpine, and that works. I've done every rental that has ever had a bedbug type preventative service. The bedbugs die before they get established, and that's with Alpine alone. I'm thirsty. It's hot in here. I got my computer under me. It's always under me because I usually put the tower under the desk. And so when it's on, it blows heat all over me. And then my vent is right there. And it's blowing heat in here. And then my wife's desk is there. It's a tower. It's got heat. And my daughter's laptop is right behind me, right there. And hers is hot too. Everybody's computers in here are hot. It's like a bunch of little mini space heaters everywhere making me hot. And I don't want to run my fan because I want you to hear me. I want there to be good sound. I'm trying really hard to have quality sound so you can hear me well. Is Alpine used on furniture too? Sometimes. So you don't have to preventatively treat furniture. Bed bugs, all right. So let's do a drawing with Jason, and then I'm going to have to call it short because I got to get off here. I got a lot to do tomorrow, and it's been an hour. But let's do a drawing with Jason, and I want to show you where bed bugs actually hang out. Okay, preventatively, like you're going to prevent bed bugs. So this is your room. Let's say this is a house or whatever. Okay. Now your bed. Let's see. Let's Can I click off? There we go. Let's say your bed is here. Okay? Now you walk in. Let's say you're worried that you're going to infest your bedroom or your house with bed bugs. Let's say you are one of these in-home nurses and you're worried. Yeah, get rid of the clutter first, I would. But you walk in and let's see, let's do some footsteps. Let's just pretend here. We're going to pretend. They're going to say, all right, this is the door. Okay, you walk in. Plop, 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 plop. All right. And you put your bag down in the floor. Right here. And it's got a bed bug on it. All right, there's a bed bug on that bag. That bed bug is going to go to this bed because it's closer, okay? It's going to try to find a vertical surface to crawl up, like a leg of a bed or a skirt that's touching the floor, like a bed skirt or a sheet or something like that, all right? Now, if it finds the wall first, it'll crawl up behind a baseboard. But if it's this close to the bed, it's probably going to crawl up on the bed. But if you've treated around the base of this bed with Alpine or Crossfire, I'm not talking about the actual floor. I'm talking about the mattress, like the actual bed itself, okay? The mattress or the box spring has been treated. Then when that bed bug crawls up and crawls across that bed, it dies. Now it's dead, okay? That's what you do. Now, if the bed bug crawls to the baseboard, it'll die there because it can't hide there. It'll die there, okay? Because there's a Crossfire. You're going to treat, or Alpine or whatever. You're going to treat your baseboards too. You have to treat those, okay? So what I do preventatively is I don't treat the mattress at all. Because most of the time, if it's a preventative job, I'm doing it every month. And the people don't even have the sheets off the bed when I get there. If they do, I'll treat the whole thing with Crossfire. But you can't treat the mattress with Alpine. So what I do is I treat the box spring. So I'll go in there and I will angle the rod, the wand. I will get down on my hands and knees and I will spray under that box spring and the legs wherever the bed touches the floor. And of course, all the baseboards around the windows and doors for keep ants, stuff like that out of the house. And I'm very thorough. But the only thing I'm not treating is I'm not treating the actual mattress itself. Because when you treat the mattress, you're not allowed to treat the mattress with Alpine, for one. And if I need to treat the mattress, that's when I use Crossfire. But preventatively, there's no need to treat the mattress if they don't have bed bugs anyway. Because they've got to go over these surfaces first before they even get to the mattress. So that's what you do. That's how you do it. So if you're dealing with a cluttered room and it's full of clutter and you're worried, because I want to answer Guy's question here because he asked it and maybe I just didn't answer it well enough. If you're dealing with somebody with clutter, let's say, now this is the same room. Let's say this is your brother's room who's got all the clutter and he's got all this stuff. Then he's got some comic books and stuff all piled up around and everything. And you can't really do a good job. You can't even get to the baseboards at all because he's got all his junk, just junk piled up everywhere. But you can get to his bed. You know, maybe it smells like BO because he doesn't clean very good and he's got a real cluttered room, okay? All right. Then what you got to do, what you have to do, you don't have to go through and clean his whole room, okay? But you need to take the sheets off of this bed. You need to flip this mattress up. You need to take the box spring off of this bed. And you need to treat that bed frame. And while you got it up, if you could see the baseboard back here, treat this baseboard. Okay? Because you got the bed up. So you treat that baseboard. Treat the mattress. Treat the box spring. Treat the bed rails, headboard, footboard, the feet where the bed touches the floor. All that stuff. And anywhere you can treat. No, you don't spray around all this stuff all over the floor. You don't do that. You just treat the area you know the bed bugs are going to go to. Now, if you're not willing to go in there and clean his room, and he's not willing to clean his room, you may have to treat a couple of times to make sure all the bed bugs are dead. But it's easier than hiring a guy with a dumpster and taking and just dumping the stuff in the dumpster, because it's definitely going to probably keep you in better relations with your brother, and you won't get in a fight, and you won't end up fist fighting over all the junk that he's hoarded in his room if he's that kind of guy. But you can go in, you can treat his box spring, you can treat his mattress, let it dry, and then make the bed, let him make his bed, maybe wash his sheets, who knows, maybe he hadn't washed his sheets in a while, might be nice to sleep on a fresh pair of sheets. Because I've been in houses like that. I've dealt with hoarders, I've dealt with people that pack rat stuff all around, and it's almost like if you've ever had a hamster, they like to take all their fluff and pull it all in a little teeny tiny ball. And then they live in that little teeny tiny little crater that they've made in the middle. And some people are kind of like hamsters, where they like to take all their stuff like a cocoon and huddle all around it. And then they live in the little teeny void space in the middle, which would be this guy in this specific drawing would be the bed. It's the only place in the room that there's not stuff piled around him. And that's what I do. I do this. I go in rooms and I treat rooms just like this. I don't move all the stuff away from the wall. I don't take all his stuff and fix it up and make it nice and neat and tidy. That's not my job. I treat the mattress. I treat the box spring, headboard, footboard, bed rails, and all that stuff. And then I know if he goes in there and he sleeps in that room, those bed bugs are going to die. And that is very effective. That works. That works really well. And most of the houses I do that way, they don't need me to come back. As long as I'm thorough and I treat everywhere I can treat. You know, it doesn't mean rearranging the whole room, because that's not possible. If he's not willing to clean his room and get the stuff up to where you can do a really good thorough job, then that's as thorough as you can do. And that's what I recommend. And I do that and it works. I want to know your philosophy on mouse treatments. Did you treat for mice until they're gone? I treat for mice till they're gone. Do you put them on a monthly service? Yes, I do. And the only exclusion that I do is steel wool copper mesh around pipes. I'm not a contractor. I don't go replacing pieces of drywall where they've chewed holes. I don't fix, really large holes around, sewage pipes and stuff that go through the floor. I don't fix dryer vents that fall off and break. I don't do that. I don't trust me when I tell you, you do not want to trust me with a caulking gun. I can't use one. I'm horrible with one. Ask my wife. She'll tell you. The next time she's sitting in here with me and I'm doing my live stream, you can ask her. She will tell you. Don't trust Jason with a spackle knife or a caulking gun because he can't use it. He's horrible. I do horrible finish work. It's better to hire a handyman or a contractor to fix that stuff. But I usually point that stuff out to the customer. I'm like, if you put a sweep on the bottom of this door, it'll probably help with the rats. If you fix this problem with this garage door where it stays open when you shut it, then, that'll probably help with the mice coming in your garage. If you'll patch around these pipes real good underneath this kitchen sink, it'll keep the mice from coming in. But most of the time, mice come in from a crawl space anyway. There's not a lot you can do. You just kind of bait for them and kill them. Honestly, the amount of money that people have in exclusionary work for mice, you could pay for pest control sometimes 3, 4, 5 years. Sometimes even longer than that. It's cheaper most of the time to kill the rodents than to do what the house actually needs in order to keep the mice and the rats out. And truthfully, you may still get mice and rats after you spend all that money. So I find that it's definitely easier to bait the mice, kill the mice, put steel wool around what holes you can. But most houses that get mice always get mice. It could just be where the house is located. If they're located in a part of town where the city just doesn't do anything for the sewers or anything, they might get rats. They probably will. Even if you kill all the rats. A rat will chew a brand new hole to get into a house. They're like squirrels. They are very, very determined to get in houses. And sometimes it's easier to set up rat stations outside and maybe one in a crawl space or a basement and kill them when they get in the house. It's cheaper for the owner and it's cheaper for the exterminator, and it all around works for everybody. And it's everybody's happy, as long as the customer's happy. So hopefully that'll help you guys. If you have any suggestions at all for any future videos that you'd like to see me do, like the ones I do on my channel, then don't forget to leave a comment. I really appreciate all the comments. I do use them all. I read them all. I read every single comment. I may not reply to every comment, but I read every single comment, every one of them. If you're interested in seeing my videos when they go live instantly, you can become a member. So you can subscribe. Like everyone says, like and subscribe to the video. You should like and subscribe. But you can also become a channel member, which allows you to be able to get emotes and chats, see all of the member-only content and the videos and stuff that I have for members only. And every video that I make always goes up to members first and the audience second. So if you become a member, you can see all the videos I've got. I've actually got videos that are due this Tuesday live now that are live for members. They can see them, but unless you're a member, you can't see them. So hopefully you guys have gotten a lot of help tonight, but I've got to get out of here. Got to go to bed. Got to get up early tomorrow and work. So y'all have a great one. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks a lot, and y'all have a great night. Bye. Let's see if I can figure out how to push this button now.